Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, my Facebook page. So I know it's been a while, and that's because your girl been busy taking care of business, busy with school, and I'm feeling really good where I'm at right now because I'm maintaining, like I said in my last video, I'm doing well, I'm staying on track for where I need to be, so I'm feeling great, and I'm just feeling great, you guys. Sorry, I don't come to tell you guys everything, and that's actually the topic of this video, about the importance of moving in silence, because I think that sometimes people have to learn the hard way about sharing too much of themselves, especially in a day and age where everybody has a social media account. Everybody's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and people feel the need to share different parts of their life for many different reasons. I mean, it's a social site, right? So it's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to socialize. You're supposed to post pictures, of yourself, what you're doing, who you're doing it with, when you did it, da 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 da. But do you have to share everything? And the question always, I think, stands as though, like, to what extent should a person share, right? I think that's something that people, social media influencers, especially like people who are in business, should constantly be asking themselves, like, how much should you share on social media? Granted, you're on social media for a reason, especially if you're a brand, if you're an artist or you're a business, like if you are self-employed and you have your own business, yeah, you want to build a brand, right, around yourself, right? But I think it has to be like a balancing act. You don't want to share too much where people feel like they know everything about you, right? And you don't have kind of no privacy. There's no secrecy, about your life. Your whole life is just out there. But you don't want to be so distant from the people who support you that you just seem like you're this separate entity and they don't even have this connection with you. I think people want to feel connected to you, and that's the whole point of social media. Like that's the whole goal of social media, especially with Facebook, is to keep people connected. I gotta get my nails done, but I think that we talk about move in silence, but it's not really something that we do, you know? And not even just within the realm of social media, but I think this also applies just day-to-day relationships. How people, you find yourself telling a little bit too much. And I think for me, I'm a very private person, and it's for a reason. You have to be private. Whereas some people, they tell all of their business, and it makes me wonder, like, why are you telling stuff that really should be kept to yourself? Like, nobody don't need to know X, Y, and Z, about your life. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you fuck, everything that you done, in a day, and what you ate, and this. I mean, yeah, some things are cool, but it's just take warning. And I speak from my own personal experience. Not to say that, oh, I'm 100% private where I don't share anything. Of course, you guys see that I do share some things, about my life. But I even have to say this to myself sometimes, like, Danielle, maybe you don't need to know that. Maybe you shouldn't have shared that information, and just to dial it back. And I think at the same time, there's levels to this, right? Because of course, it's not that you want to just be completely isolated and secluded and not have anybody inside your life, right? Like, no, I'm not trying to say that. So there's levels to it, and you have people who are very close to you that you talk to and that you share, people who you genuinely trust, and that can be tricky. Trust is a tricky thing because you cannot trust everybody, and just because you share laughs with someone, just because you have certain common characteristics, or you get along with a person, doesn't mean that they are entitled to the same degree of trust that a person who you've actually tried and tested their trust. You get what I'm saying? Like, you really have to put people through certain things to make sure that, okay, they can be trusted, right? And I think the only way is like through time and through experience and through life. But you definitely, yeah, that's really important, because with those levels, a person who, let's say, you just kind of hang out with, maybe, it's a colleague, or maybe it's just an associate, you ain't gonna be sharing like personal details with somebody who is like very close friends. So for me, I know in my own personal life, I have to set boundaries. Just because I am a colleague with someone, I mean, I work with them, or we take the same class, or we went to the same workshop, doesn't necessarily mean that that person is on the level of a friend, although they may feel like it, because I'm a very personable person. So I can say this, like, this, I can speak from a personal experience in terms of how it has been a lot of times where, like, people that I've worked with, they feel like we're friends, right? And they speak as though we're friends, and I don't want to be rude. I'm like, my definition of a friend, we not friends. First of all, I don't know you that long enough to call you my friend. Like, in order for, like, me to call a person a friend, that means we done been through some shit. That means that there's been some trial and error, that I really know you backwards and forward, and I know how you act in certain situations. You get what I'm saying? You have passed those tests. Like, it takes a lot to really be my friend. For me to say, okay, I trust this person, I can let my guard down, I can share my deepest, darkest secrets, things that I don't tell nobody. I can let you know where my moves are, I can let you know my inner thoughts are. Like, y'all think y'all know my inner thoughts, because I guess I present myself in a very personable way, which is good. I mean, that's part of who I am. That's part of my brand. But y'all don't know my deepest inner thoughts. Y'all don't know my deepest, like, really at the core. Y'all don't know that. And I feel like it's only certain people should really be entitled to those deepest parts of yourself. Only certain people are privileged to know everything that you're gonna do. And even then, you don't think you tell nobody every single thing, like 100%. But I mean, for the most part, like, no, and not everyone should be privy to that, to know your every single move, to know what you're thinking on the deepest level. You gotta be very careful with that. And I think sometimes people, they do get offended, because they're like, damn, I thought we was cool. I thought we was homegirls. I thought you my homeboy. Why you ain't let me in? Why you acting funny? And it is what it is. I just put people through the test, and this is wisdom speaking. I've lived long enough to know that you really do have to be careful when it comes to your life, and especially business owners, especially people who own a business, and you have a brand, and especially when you built up something that's worth something, and that you don't want to lose that, and you don't want to destroy that. Granted, we live in a crazy world, right? And you do have people coming from all different kinds of angles and stuff like that. And yeah, not to say that you're completely immune to somebody trying to infiltrate, what you have, or come in between, what you got going on, or whatever, try to sabotage what you got going on. Hi, Lorenzo. But it's not to say that, because that can happen either way. But what I'm trying to say is that, at least, if that does happen, right, in your life, at least you will know that it's not a friend that did it. It may be somebody you don't know, a stranger, or even an enemy. But it's better an enemy than somebody who's your so-called friend. So I have to give that warning, because that's so important. Like, people, I think, they quick to rush into friendships. I'm like, I'm the last. Like, number one, I'm perfectly fine being alone. I'm perfectly fine not having no friends, because I know what I bring to the table. I know my worth. And this goes not just for platonic friendships, but even dating relationships. That's a whole nother level. Like, I'm very particular about who I consider myself to be dating, falling in love with. Of course, I meet different people and I date, like, on a very surface level, so to speak. But when it comes to, oh, this is my man, like, I'm giving my heart to you, I'm falling in love with you, like, I bring you into my public domain. Like, I'm telling people what your name is and who you are. Like, y'all haven't seen that from me. noticed that, right? Like, y'all haven't seen me bring a guy and say, oh, this is my man, because I'm very careful about stuff like that. I may get on here and may bring ideas to you guys about certain interactions that I've had with people that I'm dating, but and talk about it on a very surface level, like generally speaking, don't even reveal no names or nothing. But I'm not. You guys haven't seen me be like, okay, here he is. This is his name. Like, no, I can't do that. Like, I'm very guarded in that respect, and I'm okay with that, and so I think some people, they take issue with that, especially people who want an insight in your life. They just want to be in your life so bad. I'm just like, no, it's not that easy to get in my inner circle. Sorry, I don't feel bad about it. You may be offended by it, but oh well. I feel like, come on, there's a lot of people in this world, millions and millions of people in this country. So if you're unhappy about my interaction or our interaction that we have, then move on. Find another friend. Like, I'm not desperate for friendship. That's for men and women. Have to move in silence, man. Don't be going around telling people your moves. And this reminds me, because I'm always inspired to do topics, video topics from many different things. And you guys know that, Dr. Umar Johnson, for you guys who've been following him, know that he is getting ready to open his school. Just seeing the devastation that has happened with him up until now, with him launching this school. Granted, I believe he's a great person at his core. I believe that he has great intentions for the black community. He's not a fraud. Like, those, y'all know my personal beliefs with respect to him. But I feel like in terms of certain things, and I'm sure he's aware of it too, the decisions and stuff that he has made, especially when it comes to letting people in his inner circle. That's why I don't blame him for being very careful. Some people are like, oh, he's so secretive. No, be secretive. I don't blame this man for having his guard up, for making sure that he has his security in place first for his school, because you just got to be careful. You can't trust people, man. You cannot. The same people who you think are for you be the main ones against you. They don't care. It's like, and especially given that we do live in this culture of society, like every man is for himself. People will pose as your friend, but then as soon as the opportunity presents itself for them to betray you, especially if it means that they getting one up, right? They get some kind of advantage, they will take that advantage at your expense. That's all I'm saying. And there are many people out there that they don't have any kind of moral ethics like this. They don't live by no kind of ethical code, Like, and religion ain't got shit to do with it, because people who are religious still can be, they don't have morals at all. Like, people, no one is perfect, you know what I'm saying? Like, people kind of do what they want to do. And especially people who are so-called religious or Christians, they just go to the church and ask for forgiveness. So, as it relates to his school, it's like people are questioning him and saying, oh, he's so secretive. And I'm just like, no, keep that level of secrecy. And it's sad because his goal was to wait to reveal the name, the location of his school, the address, on February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. And it's not so much that he's doing it for Valentine's Day. I think it's actually a very significant day. I think he says Marcus Garvey. Don't quote me on this. Don't quote me on this, you guys. But it's a significant day in history that he chose to do that, not necessarily because it was Valentine's Day. And so I think somehow the address of the school got leaked before then. Granted, it may even be the real address, but he did mention on one of his live videos, he had told people, he was like, okay, for y'all who know the address, don't tell nobody. And I'm just like, that's my point. That's what I'm saying. Like, those are people who are close to him. How else would they already know the address of the school? They're close to him. And it's the people that are close to you that betray you. It ain't strangers usually. Sometimes, yes, strangers, but it's usually somebody who has an insight, you know? So that's where you really have to be careful. I want you guys to feel free to comment on this discussion. Let me know what you guys think. A lot of people say, oh, you gotta move in silence, but who really does that? Even for myself, I say, I don't tell people where I go to school. I don't tell, let alone where I live, you know? And guys, that being that I'm in a dating, you know, phase now, people be like, guys be like, oh, you know, they get upset because they like, oh, I want to come to your house. I want to pick you up from your house. I'm like, no, you're not picking me up from my house. I'm not telling you where I live. I don't know you like that. Like, I'm okay with that. Everybody has different standards. You know, everybody values themselves differently. And for me, I don't play when it comes to my shit. I don't play when it comes to my value, my self-worth, my brand, my business. No. You know, even, I don't care if you family, dude. I don't play when it comes to it, because at least I can say that it wasn't my fault because this happened. I made sure I put the necessary measures in place, you know. And it can be a challenge, I think, especially if you are a social media influencer and you use this as a platform to promote your brand and you want to stay connected to people. There's ways I feel like you can stay connected. And I don't know if you guys notice who follow my Facebook page is that I don't really share as much in terms of my personal life. I share a lot, though, but it's not necessarily stuff that is from my personal life. You know, like I may share posts, other people's posts, and I add my own little take on it, but it's not necessarily my personal business that I'm sharing, you know. And I may, yeah, sometimes I occasionally, of course, excuse me, I share pictures, you know, here and there. Like, this morning I shared a picture of this ginger shot that I purchased from this place out in Inglewood. You guys know I love ginger. And so I caption the photo, this is how I start my day. So something like that I'll share. And I even tag the place where I bought it from. But I wasn't there at the time that I posted it, you know. So even though there's a location attached to my post, trust and believe I'm not there. I'm not there at that moment. And sometimes I think people get it mistaken. They're like, oh, you be sharing your location. I don't know. I share my location after the fact, and I made a video about this, warning people to be very careful of sharing your location. Unless you know you got security guards in place. Like, unless you take those proper precautions. But you just have to be careful. Along that, because I have to get ready to end this video and get ready for class, but along that, you can be a private person, but this is where it comes in that you have to be careful you let you in a circle, because you may be private, right? And how you move is in secret or in silence. But who you have in your inner circle, they may not move like that. They may be all over the place, letting everybody know everything, sharing everything. And it's just like, if you connected to somebody who is like that, chances are you might fall in their trap, because you're connected to that. It's like by association. It's just like if a person's out there committing crimes, right? And you hanging with this person, you're guilty by association. So what they do, their missteps, their mistakes, hold on, their mistakes is going to impact you. It's going to have an impact on you. So you just have to be very careful with that. You know, that's just my perspective on this whole topic of moving in silence and who you invite in your inner circle, and making sure that the people that you do have in your inner circle, like, you guys have to be like-minded. Of course, everybody is their own person, but you all have to be on the same accord, because people can come and fuck up your whole operation. That's the same thing. Those are the same lines that Dr. Umar Johnson is thinking about when it comes to who he's bringing into his organization for the FDMG Academy, knowing that the people that he brings in, they have to, number one, be Pan-African. You have to have the same belief system, value system. You know, it's not to say that you can't be your own individual, but at least those common core concepts, you have to be along the same, have to think along the same lines, be on the same page. You know, because if not, they're going to totally disrespect. Hold on, I'm doing a video. Give me a second. What? I'm doing a video. Hold on. But you have to be on the same page. Because if you're not on the same page, then shit is going to go wrong. Things are going to get fucked up, man. And, I mean, it can get fucked up to a small degree, or it can get fucked up. And you're going to regret it, you know. And then you are supposed to be the captain of your own ship. The last thing you want to do as a captain of your own ship is to let somebody come in and fuck up your whole course where you're trying to go. That's the last thing, especially when you're talking about the amount of time and money you have invested in your operation. You are the captain. No matter what it is, your ship, no matter what your ship is. Your ship can be a business. Your ship can be an organization that you created, a project that you're running, whatever it is. Your ship is your life. Your life, out of all things. Don't let nobody else direct the course. You are in control of your life. That means you choose who you invite into your inner circle. You know that you're the kind of person that you're private. You want to make sure that the people around you are also that same way. Because they can fuck it up. If you got somebody around you that just blabbering, and they're around you, and you got two. First of all, you're talking about you operating on two different frequencies. You're operating with two different value systems. You value privacy. The other person don't give a fuck about that. So not even being aware or conscious, they go out because this is just their style and their way of doing things. Go out and start running their mouth, right? And they're like, oh, well, I didn't think it was nothing wrong because this is just how I do things. And they be done told some of your business. Why? Because you connected. It's like your business is their business because you were friends. You know, that's how they see it anyway. And so they go off and telling your stuff, and they moving wrong. And if you are not careful when you let people into your inner circle, that's what will happen. That's what will happen, you guys. You have to be very smart. This is like business 101. And this is not even, I think, something even teaching business classes. This is actually just something that you learn by doing. When you actually have launched a business, you know, and you're running a business, this is just something that you learn. This is like one of the unspoken rules in business. It's not something that necessarily is written out to say, oh, I mean, of course they have privacy notices and confidentiality notices that you sign, people agree to. But I'm at the library. I'm so distracted because someone wants to meet up with me. I'm just like, I'm doing a video. I am doing a video. Don't interrupt me while I'm doing the video. And then my class is getting ready to start. But yeah, there are confidentiality notices that people sign in business, and that's one thing, but it's a lot of unspoken rules, and some things just, you have to make sure you have to have understanding with the people who are in your life. They don't get it. You have to make sure you are dealing with people who understand, whether they're family, friends, it don't matter. Family too, because sometimes family, they the worst at it. They like, oh, we cool, and they go off and they fuck up everything, man. It's like you wasn't supposed to say that, you know? And then I have to make a whole nother video on in terms of how people treat you, especially a person of value, of worth, setting the standard for how you interact with people and what you choose to allow. You know, you just can't allow people, any kind of person in your life, you damn sure can't allow people to treat you any kind of way. That impacts everything. Your psychology, number one. And then how your psychology is configured is going to impact the choices that you make in your own life and in business. You can't let that. You have to just be very careful. I'm very careful. So when I see myself and I'm by myself a lot of times, and I think sometimes people look at me and like, dang, she's just in her own world. And it bothers them because they want to be a part of that world. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I'm okay with taking things slow. I'm okay with baby stepping it. It don't matter if it's platonic or intimate or romantic. I'm okay with baby stepping it because I gotta figure people out. I gotta sense them out. And usually it's not difficult to do that. Usually people because I give people the space, because people feel safe around me. So I definitely give people the space to be who they are. I don't judge people because I want to see who you are. I let a person be them, and I don't cast judgment. And that's the easiest way to find out who a person is. Don't judge them. Let them show their true colors, man. And when they do, accept it. Accept it. Don't try to change it, but at least you know what that person's true colors is. And then you move accordingly. You make decisions accordingly based on what they have shown you. You decide, is this somebody that you want in your inner circle? Is this somebody that you want to share information with? Because like I say, you can move in silence, but people around you may not move in silence, you know? And on that note, I do have to go, but it's just so important, you guys. I see people sharing a lot of stuff that I think, it's like, why are you posting that on social media? Like, especially parents who have kids. Like, honestly, I wouldn't even post my kids on social media, but people post their kids' names, the school. Like, you posting the school of your kid, like, that's just too much TMI, too much information. I don't see how people do it. People post pictures of their houses, like outside the house. You can even see like the number of the house. Like, no, you don't do that. I say this over and over again. Like, you don't tell people. You don't post where you live. You don't post where you go to school or where you work. And you have people that try to make you feel guilty. Like, oh, well, I posted, so why can't you post what school or where you live or where you work? That's you. You can say where you live, where you work. I'm not telling you that. I'm not. It's not. No. It's not your business. That is not the business of the public to know that. I know, yes, with social media and especially with Facebook, they have it where you can put where you work, you know, where you. No, that ain't nobody freaking business. Now the city is okay. Okay, I can post the city. You guys know I live out here in LA, but. And it really surprises me how people will get mad at you. Like, men have got mad at me because I don't tell them where I work. I'm like, do you know what I do? That's all you need to know. You have a general idea of the kind of agency where I work at, but trying to figure out where my place of employment, hell, fuck no. I ain't telling y'all that shit. And you can try to find out. But by the time you find out, I ain't going to be there no more. So on that note, I'm about to go. I will catch you guys later. It's real easy to move in silence. Because all you got to think about is a betrayal. You know, it's very easy. Just think about what could go wrong or what has gone wrong in your life when you didn't move in silence, you know. But for the most part, it's just to protect yourself, man. Protect what you've built. That's the most important thing. Feel free to leave your comments below. Let me know what y'all think about this, you know, because vlogging can be very fun. I'm a vlogger. I like to share different places I go, restaurants. I'm a big foodie. So I like to go to different restaurants and share where I've been to eat and stuff like that. But even myself, this is a note to myself. I gotta dial it down some because it's just like, whoa. Y'all already know enough about me. So, yeah, I'm toning it down. But I do have to go. I will catch you guys later. Feel free to comment and continue the discussion below. And I'll catch you guys later. Love you guys. Bye.